10 escape from a hole in the wall behind a toilet. A scene you'd think you'd see in an action movie.
27-year-old Derrick Groves is one of the escaped inmates, and he's still at large.
In addition to the FBI increasing their award from $5,000 to $10,000.
If you understand it, you don't tell us who your son is. We have the authority to shoot and kill. We're going to kill him.
Derrick Groves was one of the 10 inmates that were part of the mass prison escape in New Orleans. According to law enforcement, Derrick was convicted of 2 counts of second-degree murder for the Mardi Gras day killings of Byron Jackson and Jamal Robinson in New Orleans' 9th Ward. He received 2 life sentences, subsequently pleaded guilty to 2 separate manslaughter charges in the deaths of Woodrow Smith and another victim. Additionally, faced 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder and battery of a correctional facility employee. Groves was first found guilty in 2019 along with the co-defendant Kendall Barnes. But after a new law was passed requiring all jurors to agree on a verdict in felony cases, the conviction was overturned and a new trial was scheduled for January 2023. That trial ended in a mistrial when one of the jurors was caught reading news coverage about the case. A second attempt in June 2023 also failed, with the jury unable to reach a unanimous decision. But according to others and loved ones, they got Derrick's story wrong and possibly a setup from the NOPD. Since a failed guilty verdict happened twice, some people claim the police became desperate and forced witnesses to lie on the stand. Also, it was known that his nickname Woo was another man's nickname in East New Orleans as well, but the police insisted on pursuing Derrick anyway. Police tried to accuse Derrick of avenging his grandmother's murder, even though the murder happened in 1994 and Derrick was born in 1996. Derrick Groves is the grandson of Kim Groves' 32-year-old mother, who was murdered shortly after she filed a police brutality complaint against the New Orleans officer, Lynn Davis. That complaint set off a deadly chain of events. Davis, tipped off by another officer, arranged to have Groves killed. She was fatally shot near her home in the lower 9th Ward less than 24 hours later. At the time, Davis was already under FBI surveillance for operating a drug protection scheme. Federal agents had bugged his phone and inadvertently captured him ordering the hit on Groves. Tragically, they were unable to stop the murder in time. Davis was eventually convicted of civil rights violations leading to Groves' death and sentenced to death in 1996. 2 accomplices were also convicted. Paul Hardy, a known drug dealer who carried out the shooting, initially received the death penalty, but his sentence was later reduced to life in prison due to intellectual disability. Damon Cossey, a close associate of both Hardy and Davis, helped orchestrate the killing and hid the murder weapon. He was convicted on conspiracy and civil rights charges and also sentenced to life without parole. But Kim Groves shouldn't be just remembered as the lady that was murdered essentially by Officer Lynn Davis. Kim Marie Groves was a single mother of 3 who was deeply loved in her lower 9th Ward neighborhood of New Orleans. At just 32, she balanced raising her children on her own while working part-time as a security guard, but her care extended beyond her own family. Kim was known in the community for looking out for others, especially the local kids. She would walk through the neighborhood watching over children and letting parents know if something seemed off. Her daughter Jasmine remembers her as someone who always made her feel valued. She even sang happy birthday to her the night before her life was tragically taken. In December 2024, President Joe Biden commuted Lynn Davis' death sentence to life imprisonment, a move that stirred public debate. The prosecutor who originally tried the case criticized the decision, saying that Groves' family was not properly notified, which went against standard Department of Justice procedures. Following the 2025 mass jail escape, public focus returned to the Groves family, highlighting how their personal history reflects deeper, ongoing issues of corruption and accountability within the New Orleans Police Department. This case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked police power and the lasting harm that systemic failures in law enforcement can inflict on families and communities.